Rejected Stone Productions presents To One and All, the Rejected Stone Podcast. Real talk about real issues in real time. Your hosts for this Rejected Stone experience, Dr. Zebulon Maletsky and Dr. Jarvis Watson. Tuwende, let's begin.
All right. We are live and direct. All right. So, welcome party people. Welcome everyone out in Facebook land and we are coming live from Zoom, and this is our Black History Month edition with the Rejected Stone podcast, where we talk about we have real talk about real issues in real time. And I just want to say that I am definitely blessed to be next to my partner and faith and struggle and resilience, Dr. Zebulon Maletsky. Before I get started, I'm going to say my name. My name is Dr. Jarvis Watson. And my pronouns are he, him, his. I just want to let everybody know that we are definitely in full effect today. And we're coming with a lot of great positive energy. I think we have a lot to be grateful for today. And just want to thank those that are out there watching and hopefully making sure you share this over Facebook. And we are just going to go from the heart today. We're going to go from the soul. We're going to go from the mind, but we're going to go with grace and with Thanksgiving today, because we are in Black History Month. And like I said, I think we're going to have a little bit of discussion about, what that means, but to know that even though we have this one day, we continue to celebrate today and every day that we are alive on this earth. And I think we have, like I said, once again, a lot to be proud of, a lot to be happy for. And definitely just want to hand it over to Dr. Maletsky, and then after that we'll get started. So how you doing, Doc? It's been a minute.
Yeah. I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for that subtle, sweet introduction, man. Thank you. Bringing us in. We were talking before, and it's Black History Month, and there's so much to say and so much to think about, and so I really welcoming this chance to just kind of talk about it in a more relaxed way and ease on into it as we do. There's a lot happening, and I think we all knew this was going to be a different kind of Black History Month. And it certainly has been so far. So already in a good, in positive way. So I'm just glad to be in the house, glad to be in dialogue with you, and appreciate this. This is what I was looking forward to.
Oh yeah. I see that once again the Queens are definitely in support. I see your wife Carla already making comments, and she said something about the background. So I lead in also to share that the background is inspired by my wife, Adesua, who actually put this is actually like a brick that I found at church. They were doing some reconstruction, and first a shout out to First Baptist Church of Bayshore in Long Island. I love you all. I hope you all are watching. But I found this brick, and it was just it was on a pile of bricks. I was like, you know what? Let me pick this up. There's something special about it, and then and didn't realize it was going to actually be part of our image. And as we talk more about the Rejected Stone. And maybe you want to share something about like the meaning behind that, because I think for you to come up with this name is something special. Wow. But my wife put a little bow, as wives do, and she put the scripture that is connected to on the stone. And I just want to make sure I give homage and respect and much appreciation to Adesua, my queen, to let her know that her artistic skill set it's definitely represented virtually and hopefully, spread wide and far. So, yeah.
Here, because
thank you.
Listen, this is very special, and that's one of the reasons why I when you blessed me with this image, when she blessed us with this image, not just the image, but the stone itself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do ask, or, some of us who are out here, thank you, all those who know. So a lot of people felt, okay, we get it. But people do ask about it. And, if at first it's something that's part of our culture, it's part of our language, it's here, it's hidden in plain sight in a lot of ways, and I think it does have a lot of meaning. I first came about it, really, to tell you the truth, was the Boondocks. I am the stone that the builder refused.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think we all heard people bopped it, that little, and it starts in.
That's the first thing they say. That was
a big part of the show. And that was, one part of it. And also those who know hip hop, shout out, to people who have that has been interlaced and interwoven into hip hop lyrics for a minute. And so I don't know, it's just something that stood out to me, and it's something that I think, the Psalm says, and then about the rejected stone will become the cornerstone. Those who feel there's a lot of people out here who feel that way, who've been turned away, who have been rejected, dejected, ejected, and so out of the economy, out of the workforce, out of chance to make a life. And so I think, I don't know, it's something that means a lot to me and you, to you and I, but it's something that means, I think it's out there a lot to a lot of people who resonate with it. And so that, you know how good that feels, because you come out with a it's a little different. It's a little different. People are like, wait a minute, what does it mean? So
yeah. I think it's cool because we experience this as Black men in America. I think we experience this sometimes as professionals. We experience this historically in regards to not feeling as if we are part of the foundation or part of the plan, part of the the blueprint, so to speak, and even part of the raw materials that make up the building or the edifice of whatever, that might be a metaphor for. And to know that at one point we may feel and believe that we are not part of that, but then there's a higher power that comes in place that kind of puts us up front. And in the way that we have all these resources, have all these opportunities, we have our voice, we have our image. And I think that this is something that I think a lot of people can resonate. So to know that this thing can start picking up steam somehow, to not just address issues of being a Black male, but also if anyone who just feels unappreciated, underserved, marginalized, this could resonate with anyone who feels this way. So we invite everyone to be a part of this experience, be a part of this process that we're working with, and also be a part of this movement, I would say, to really open up more opportunities for people to be seen, heard, and I would say, and the other feeling of being felt, the aspect of being felt emotionally. I think something to take away from Maya Angelou, she says, you don't remember, no, I'm paraphrasing, but she talks about that. She talked about the fact you may not remember what people said, but you remember how someone made you feel. So hopefully we can, in our conversations, in our dialogues, hopefully, we bring on more guests, we can make people feel as if they are appreciated, they are affirmed, and they are recognized for their contributions to, like I said, whatever foundation or edifice that they are representing at a particular point. So, yeah, from us to you. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's well said. And, those words are soothing. Those words are needed right now. I mean, because I think that we also knew, or ought to have known, maybe we didn't know, that we need a time of healing. We need a time of healing after, it's been a pandemic in the land, and there's been There's been unrest in the land, politically, economically, sociologically, and socially, and
Right.
divided country. And so, in addition to the literal healing process that needs to take place, we need a mental healing. We need a mental check-in. We need time to talk about. You may need to just hug somebody and cry your eyes. I don't know if that's what's needed to get through this time. I say pursue those instincts because, maybe before the pandemic, this would have been out of place, but it feels more in place because it's something, a chance to talk, a chance to heal.
Yeah. And I just want to give a shout out to my man, Duran, who's trying to get on, but was unable to because there was some technical challenges. But I just want to give some shout out to some other, I would say, rejected stones out there, but definitely doing some big things. Jim Grimes, I think he's leading his new one of his new ventures. For those who need to stay in shape, talk about mental health. There's also that physical health too. So in that same vein, make sure you check him out on Instagram, and he's doing some really great things, keeping not just people in shape, but also helping people fulfill their dreams of becoming athletes and beyond the scholastic area of their career. So if anybody is able to share that with Duran, let them know we shout them out. So also in that vein, shout out Raina Simon and Sheldon Coleman out there. So yeah, man, some real good folks from the way back. Yeah.
That's where we got to know each other.
Yeah. So definitely everybody out there on that grind. Like I said, COVID meant to do one thing, but it made us rise above. And once again, we take advantage of the time that we have, and we use our creativity and use our resilience and our historical legacy of overcoming so many different obstacles.
It's real.
Yeah. So shout out to those out there.
Yeah, no doubt. And Duran also his IG. Everybody should check that out. Does some amazing interviews.
Definitely.
There's a lot of content, a lot of great content up there already. He's we're gonna collab eventually, and thinking of him also makes we were talking about shout out to Strong Island, Strong Surge,
yes,
and
brother,
Strong Organization,
brother,
because when I think back, he's the reason he had me on his radio show. And how we did it, I said, wow, this can be done. And so he's a big inspiration for this. And that needs to be said, too. I hope one of these days we'll get him, we'll either get him on the show or even just to get him, make sure folks know about it out there. Shout out to the folks doing that good work.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So like I said, man, today we really wanted to take some time to pay homage and pay respects to those who have come before us and who are actually making history right now. A lot of things to, like I said, to be grateful for and to be reflective of. And we want to kind of talk about like Black history. Does it have a different feel right now? Does it have a different flavor right now? Does it have a different impact in these days and times? Just to reference something that happened recently, we have our first African-American, Black, Jamaican. I'm trying to go down the line of everything in the Black diaspora, and that we could find into Black, Jamaican, African-American sister, also who also shares the sense and identities with Indian from the Asia Indian area, and respect to her mother. Who traveled so far to be here, and as she's looking down, I know she's definitely proud of her daughter. But there's a thing of those migrations that have made this country great in that aspect. But we have our first Black and Indian vice president in office right now, and to be alive and conscious and coherent to really understand and appreciate what that means. Is nothing more than a blessing, nothing less than a blessing, So just definitely want to make sure we we record that and put that out there.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right, and that's well taken. I mean, it's a marvelous thing to see a decision maker, a vote. She weighed in on some of these key votes, and they're going to get help to people, and they're going to help. And that's important. Also thinking of a conversation I had with an amazing brother who a lot of people know, Errol Cockfield, brother Errol Cockfield.
Oh, yeah,
respect. Yes, sir. Yes, who I have had the honor and pleasure of appearing on the same stage with, and he was the perfect moderator for this session, and that's out there, the homecoming from Stony Brook, but and he's an alum. He's a class of I would hesitate to say it. I don't want to get it wrong, but
yeah, he'll reach out to you, let you know.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly what. Yeah,
but he's amazing. But anyway, he was making the point. We were talking, and he was saying, got to look at the role that Black women played in not only in the form of Kamala Harris, but what made a Kamala Harris and a Joe Biden win possible. The Stacey Abrams, it's been talked about a lot in the media, and it's an important point, and I think it matters to folks, to make that shout out, make sure that's understood, that Georgia turned blue, and that Georgia was able to, flip those seats, Raphael Warnock, and so on. So it's important to mention that and to focus on that. How are we going to get to understand the DNA of what made this recent election change possible? I was watching a live yesterday at the Schomburg, and Ashley Farmer was saying, in many cases in the movements, men theorized, women organized, and so and I don't think that's her quote, but she was attributing it to someone. But yeah, it grabbed me. It might as well have been, because it just grabbed me right out of my seat, and because of the truth of it. So how do we pay tribute to that kind of organizing work? We're 50 years hence from the March on Washington, and yet we're still having this conversation of Black women's contributions in terms of the architecture of the modern present-day Democratic Party, resurrected from really the ashes of 2016.
Yeah, in a way that only Black women could.
Right, that's what he was saying.
And in only a way, and I think that I'll even talk about the fact I'm more into the arts area now. Looking at Ava DuVernay, the way that she crafts a story, and I think this is all connected. When they see us,
oh my gosh, she just.
And when I was watching it, all I could hear, like in my head, was my mom telling me stories about being careful, walking out the house, and engaging with law enforcement. And the way that story was told could only be told in a way that it only can hit you in a way that a Black woman can kind of like get certain things out in that movie. And if it had been done by anybody else, it probably would have been as impactful at it and hit you as hard. I felt that spirit. I can't really explain how I was able to catch that so fast, other than being a son of a Black mother. And it was like the contributions that they have made to make us understand a little bit more about our humanity. And you started with the political realm. I think we all started with the fact that we have one of the top leaders in our nation that resonates with us because of her identity, our identities, but also how we tell our story. Black women have done it in a way that is really coming from a place of love. I would say even sometimes warning, but also this sense of hope and resilience. That because you think about Stacey Abrams, she was going for governor, and they put her down. They said no, it's not going to happen. They did something. Something happened where that didn't happen. But she's like, okay, I will rise again.
Yeah. And it's important. This is why it's also important to research and know history and stuff. She was a youth speaker at the Million Man March. Wait, I hope I have that right. I want to check that.
Okay, keep talking.
It's either it was a major. I'm pretty sure it's a Million Man March, and she was like a teenager, and so you see, we gotta watch who are rising, not rising stars, but rising roots, rising. When somebody who's a master teacher, a master builder dies, they say a mighty tree has fallen.
Yeah.
And what about our mighty trees who are holding this country up right now? And then yet it's, if you go back and listen to our other previous episodes, not a shock to us. We've talked about it so many times. It's almost become a cliche about African Americans saving this country once again, over and over again. And we do it willingly. We do it without regret. And oh man, I'm thinking of Paul Laurence Dunbar. What a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think also without apology. To add that in.
Without apology, and that speaks to your point, as only a Black woman could do it, as also son of a Black mother. In my case, I got you. I hear you.
The
safety. How do you prepare a young man to what it's going to be a Black man in this society? My mom did it. It took me years to understand. I told this story publicly in ways that you could look back and you could see, like, I didn't totally get it.
Yeah.
But by and by, I have come to. So you're right. Ava DuVernay. What a. I'm speechless. I get crazy when her name is mentioned, because I get 13th. Shout out to Ava DuVernay. Shout out to Array Productions. Shout out to 13th. Oh, yeah. Because I was in 13th for about half a second.
I saw that.
She put her brother in 13th.
Hey.
And Democracy Now! There was the footage. It all goes back. And today is Trayvon Martin's birthday. Thank you. Talk to me.
Oh.
And that was where it all started. So it's.
Are you serious? That's the day? Oh my gosh. And guess who I'm referencing? Yeah, I'm referencing next, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Once again, started by 3 Black women. Shout out to Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've changed our whole carrying, the world on their shoulders. There's a it's an amazing thing to witness and watch. But we know we're in good hands, and that's good for America. That's good. We're very. So I think we gotta start thinking about just finding ways to make that story visible, to make the hidden labor, the unrewarded labor, to go back to what we were talking about. Those who feel their labor hasn't been warranted, those who are unsung, who dwell in the background and do the work, in movement, or in churches where movements are happening, or in churches, or in a lot of spaces. And it's an important dialogue, of course, that needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon.
Yeah, man. That just made me think about once again, as we keep talking about our the importance and emphasis of Black women. My sister put me on to a clip from Jamil Hill interview she did with a Black aviator or Black pilot who does these, who did these. I think he still does these type of community support type of like nonprofit organizations to help young people, I think within Florida, learn a little bit more of how to fly. And come to find out that Trayvon Martin was one of his students. Yeah. And you think about this, and this is the story that was painted about Trayvon, about, we hear about the Skittles and we hear about the Snapple kind of things. This is and I think we understand what that means, to go to the store to get you some snacks and you put your hood on just because it either might be chilly or you're just trying to get into your zone. Like, that's the time you just need, that's your decompression time. But someone took it as this guy being a thug, being dangerous, being a threat. And what the interview with Jemele Hill did was give a little bit more depth to who Trayvon really was. And it talks about this individual, and I want to find his name, but he talked about in depth about how smart he was, how eager he was, how enthusiastic he was to learn about being a pilot. And I think he talked about the fact that he still has in his office an application or a letter from Trayvon Martin, him breaking down why he wanted to fly.
Wow.
And, in the same vein, how we look at like MLK and right as he wrote his notes, we look at these other individuals who left little notes behind to kind of see like what their thought process was. You can go into this office right now and see that there's this thing connected to Trayvon Martin that whose narrative is his own. It's his own narrative,
Yeah.
And the fact that we always are quick to assume that the victim is also the perpetrator, And it's like there was this humanity that just came across, where when I was driving, listening to it, I had to pull over and really, because I got emotional, because I was like, how dare this man take this child away from his family, from this neighborhood, from his dreams, and for these three Black women to have that same type of like anger, but also, like I said, that theory was like, yo, this is messed up, but they were like, we're going to take this to action. And to think about like how Black Lives Matter was not really received in the way that it's received right now. It had to go through like one phase and then a second phase for people to really get like, no, Black lives really do matter.
Yeah.
As I wear my and where my Black minds matter. Shout out to Dr. Jaleb Wood and Dr. Frank Harris out in San Diego State University.
Such a good job. That podcast is videos, excuse me. Yeah.
Please check Cora Learning. They are doing some amazing things, and with the Black Minds Matter YouTube channels, where they're really helping to break down the true story, but also help universities and colleges out with how to deal with some of these major issues with online learning, as well as what happened in the Capitol. But once again, shout out to these Black journalists who identify as Black women, as well as these women out there that are out there sacrificing safety, well-being, lives to make sure that people get it. So now this is a world premiere, so to speak. Black Lives Matter is not just a local kind of conversation, So I know I've been rambling for a minute, but I had to kind of
I was right there with you. You said it's a world. I felt like I was like, drop that DJ. I was just. But you're right. You're absolutely right, and I think it does need to be patiently said. And I know we're doing a lot of shout outs. The whole show is not going to be shout outs today, but it's but why? Because how you started off our conversation tonight. All the things that have been going on, and that we feel strongly about in a month, in a time. I feel the whole, I feel the nation moving. I feel Black folk moving toward a new day right now. And however we want to break it down, they are the forefront and the vanguard of a new movement, and one that is kind.
Yeah.
A movement that's kind enough to be strong and use that strength to protect people. It's a generous gift. I hope by and by people come to understand that the agreement to give your life over to help to dream a new world, because that is exactly what they are doing, and what they have done. It is we ought to stop saying it's another civil rights movement, because this is actually something actually new, just as vibrant and just as will be remembered just as strongly as the civil rights movement that we all always use that term.
Yeah. I think it even takes evolution into civil to human, and to redefine what it means to be human. That comes with the good and the bad and the ugly, but to really kind of focusing on that good aspect. I like the word kind, because I think sometimes whenever we react to something, it always is like, I feel like we're the violent ones, and truly forgetting about the violence and the oppression has been placed upon numerous amounts of historically marginalized folks in America, especially those who identify as indigenous or Native American. And the kindness is like, we're not going to spew the same type of hate.
That's it.
Same type of like genocidal kind of approaches.
They're going to use power to hurt.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Today, this is a deep Friday today. Yeah.
I know what happened to
this. It's a deep Friday, man.
It was supposed to be Black History Month celebration. We went deep, but it is a deep day. It's a somber day in the sense that because Trayvon Martin, he's the one, just much like Emmett Till, so much like Emmett Till. And even for a long time, I think people didn't understand that phenomenon, how important Emmett Till was in kicking off and sparking the similar outrage that people felt about Trayvon. It was evocative of that, and yet it was very different. And yet it was hip hop. He had a hoodie. It touched upon everything. Stand your ground. It became an engagement with this somewhat sinister, and unfortunately all too effective organizing force called ALEC and called Koch brothers and all the things they were doing during those years, during years of Obama. We've got to uncover and have a autopsy on those years and come to not an autopsy because it's not dead. The dream is very much alive, but an investigation to really uncover what was happening under the hood. Okay. The things that were hidden in plain sight, like some of these things do, but I think that's why Black History Month is so important. Those who don't learn their history are doomed to repeat it. I feel like we are actually learning from our history. Finally, I feel that unity and unification in the land. Maybe I'm not talking to enough people. That's a possibility.
Yeah, well, like I said, do this podcast will hopefully reach more minds and more ears and hopefully more hearts right now. Because like I said, we all,
why not?
We are the rejected stone that, we have real talk about real issues in real time. So, but what is time? If you want to go deep with that, but
man, see, philosopher over here.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
I wanted to say something. I out there in the podcast land, there's a lot of really great podcasts. Just a shout out to one of my favorites really, and where I get almost probably a lot of my information is from Sean King's podcast. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Okay.
The breakdown.
Shut up.
And I would urge everybody to check it out. The information is rich, it's reliable, it's well researched, it's nuanced, it's explained well. We're a big fan. I mean, I know we've talked about. We're big fans, and I think, but it's not even just about. It's a great podcast just on its own, but just the information is vital.
Yeah.
If you want to understand what's happening in our carceral state, what's happening in prisons, what's happening in terms of our racial justice movement that surges forward, whatever we call it. Sometimes as a society, we check out of the activism and then we check back in. This summer, everybody checked back in heavily. But I get a feeling that a lot of people who said after George Floyd said, I want to do something about what I saw. I feel that.
Yeah.
And in the summer, it meant I'm going to go outside and I'm going to protest. I'm going to help, or whatever a lot of people, that was the first thing they could do, and that they did. But now it's actually effectuating policy, effectuating philanthropy, effectuating change-making instruments that could really, sort of steer the ship in terms of moving forward. But yeah, so I think it's heavy, but it's important to talk about. It's all important. I want to also, just mention, if we have enough time.
Yeah, we're good.
That whole issue you were talking about kind of owning your own narrative.
Yeah.
Owning your own narrative, because that's critical to understand, to tell the story in the most accurate way possible. And that's, I think that's another freedom that we don't think about, but the freedom to own our own narrative.
Yeah, I didn't want to respond just yet because I just want to kind of let that sink in, because the joy of even doing the things that we're doing, being able to place your own tag or your own voice, your own creative energy toward this, in a very unfiltered and, like I said, unapologetic way, really takes away from a stereotype opportunities that can come in when you don't have the ownership of your masters, or ownership of your book, ownership of your steps, ownership of your dreams, so to speak. We talked about dreams earlier. Sometimes people steal your dreams and or step on your dreams, but to have that narrative that you can say, this is me in all my glory and all my faults and all my whatevers, to really reference Black history is to also pay homage to those who were able to have the courage to do that. When you try to write your own story, somebody always tried to deny you that space, deny that opportunity. And I think it's our obligation to carry on that legacy of being courageous and being able to kind of use this platform and many other platforms to, because think about it, man. How many people do we know that we can call doctor that look and sound like us? I think the fact that we earn these degrees, I think we just are obligated to make sure that we are helping people understand what it could look like. It can look like anything you want it to look like. Once you earn that third degree, so to speak, you can make it anything you want it to be. And guess what? You don't have to sacrifice your soul or sacrifice your character to do it. Yeah.
Man, you just brought joy. You just brought me joy, man. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I remember, over at Stony Brook University, we
shout out to my alma mater. Yeah.
Yes. A lot of people watch. They were asking about you, by the way. It might be in the chat now.
I miss y'all, man. Miss y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, they ask. And this is, I brought Jarvis. I got him. He's here. If you can't catch him on the line, you can catch him here and catch us here. And we're going to have some guests and stuff, and some of our friends back.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think that was the theme last year, of course. Owning your own narrative is such a good theme, and this year at Stony Brook, it was Black creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Black creativity. So Stony Brook honors the national theme, which is Black family, but always chooses its Sankofa themes has come up, a different theme every year, a local theme.
Yeah.
And it's again, it's all connected, that creativity, trying to be flexible and come up with ways of dealing with the pandemic, trying to deal with, and doing so with grace and doing so with fun, and hopefully try to make it, what a joy we can do this, we're really lucky. And I'm excited. I want to, really just think about that opportunity, and take it very seriously.
Yeah.
I have had, I have to give a shout out to Dr. K. Wise Whitehead, also AKA Dr. K, known as Dr. K.
Right on.
Who's down there in Baltimore, and been on her show several times. And man, if we ever get it together, maybe we have her on ours.
Yeah, I love Sister's energy. Really about she's
yes,
about,
you see,
she's about that.
She's
she's about the cause. Yeah.
The force, and so that's an inspiration too. I think when we put our creativity together, when we put our heads together, we can come up with amazing things.
Okay.
And hopefully, do some good and fix, problems and issues before they start. It's really a joy. And now I wanted to talk to you about this Black History Month article.
Okay. All right.
I wanted to know, what you thought about it. I'm going to bring it up if I can. Let's see.
Let me see what I can do and make sure I'm giving the right response. Yeah, man.
But as I do that, I was just going to ask you, what when we were talking about that before, what do you, what is your take on some of these, I guess, debates, for lack of, they are debates about, some, and maybe we could set it up how you were talking about. Let me just bring it up with this question about Black History Month. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's gone beyond. Everybody's always made the joke, oh, they gave us the shortest month of the year and the coldest.
Oh yeah, just heard that yesterday. Yes.
What's that about? Morning. Can you unpack? Can you help us unpack? Help us unpack that. There is, like, to be fair, it just seems like there's some folks out there who are, I don't know how strongly they feel about it, but they're saying things like, there's some campaigns out there. There's been some information out there. This is what this article is about. But it's worth thinking about. Excellent article. Shout out to Camilla Newton.
Yeah. Shout out to this is from the Yahoo. This is a reference. Is Black History Month enough? Changemakers discusses relevance in the midst of racial justice movements. Camilla Newton and at Yahoo Life. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let's make sure we get. Yeah.
Great writer. Great on the come up, doing some amazing work.
Yeah. I think that I don't know. Did you pose a question yet? Because I know it's like this is a topic that can bring some.
That's true. What did you want to say about it? Shout
I think
out to
it's
Yahoo Life.
Yeah, Yahoo Life. Thank you very much for posing this opportunity for us to have this discussion, because I think this is a time of realization that you can actually stop and kind of think about, all right, we've had this historical aspect of Black History Month where we take this one part of the year to kind of really recognize where we've come, where we are now, where we need to go. And I think there is the utmost importance to make sure we maintain, what we have in regards to what it looks like to have Black History Month in February, but to also think about different ways we can use that time to pause and reflect and plan and project moving forward. I think everybody needs some place that you need to grab a cup of water or to grab your breath and to sit down for a moment and start to kind of like, okay, if you even listen to the words of Lift Up Your Voice and Sing, they said stony the road we tread. If you walk on a stony road, you need to sit down for a minute because if not, how do you restore from all the struggle and all the pain and all the obstacles that you had to overcome?
Yeah.
So there is this thing historically and culturally, I think that Black History Month represents. And I think also an aspect of being the shortest month, I think also the aspect of being the shortest month is this, now it's time to get back to work. So I think that's the other argument about it not just being 28 days, but also being 365. So I don't think it should be an either or kind of thing. I think it's a yes and. Because if we don't stop to start thinking about how great we are, what we have contributed, and it's not just a African American thing. It's a Black African global kind of recognizing of
France. They had something. It's celebrated in the UK. It's celebrated. They're planning something in South Africa. Worldwide celebrations, not unlike what's happening with Black Lives Matter. That embrace of something African American out there is very, very powerful this year.
Yeah. So I think it's a yes and not to make it it's like, oh, just an easy way out. That's why I really wanted to take the time to kind of like put the emphasis on the humanistic, if you had to personalize it or give some type of humanity aspects. I think the month provides us this opportunity to kind of pause and reflect and plan and strategize and then move forward. Almost if anybody's done any type of strategic planning, you need that month to kind of like, all right, let me exhale for a second. Let's see where we are. Let's do a self check and then move forward. So I think it's a great argument to have, and I think it's a great conversation to keep going.
I actually agree. I don't think people by saying those things are saying that Black History Month is something negative. I don't think it's that strong.
Right.
I think they're trying to make that larger point. And the point's been made before. Woodson, Carter G. Woodson would certainly, I think, agree that Black history ought to be celebrated all throughout the year. Nobody would negate that. But I think as long as it's not, we got to hold on to our institutions. We got to, we this thing called Black History Month has been built brick by brick, stone by stone. It is a cornerstone. And I got to give a shout out to the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, what we call ASALH, who are the inheritors of that legacy, founded by Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black History Month. And they ASALH is doing a whole month-long festival that's been mentioned out there, and hopefully folks are hearing about it. I want to just tell everybody, check out asalh.org/festival, and you can find everything right there. You can all of them are on Eventbrite. You can put it into your phone, give yourself a reminder, and I just urge everybody to do that. We have an event tomorrow. They have an event tomorrow on the foodways from the continent to the Americas. And there's some celebrity chefs on there, including Carla Hall from Top Chef.
Okay.
Man, this is and this thing is going to be a powerhouse. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, okay. I definitely will be passing through virtually. Yes,
sir. We'll keep the light on for you and everybody else. Check it out. You can also go to if you want to just go directly, you can go to youtube.com/ASALH-TV.
All right. Yeah, please. I think the school I work with now, they just shouted out ASALH as well. So ASALH's out there.
Okay. The school
I'm not sure if I can get them. I'm definitely School of Visual Arts, man. They are. That's an amazing place. Really, really, truly is. Definitely blessed to be there. Really great people there.
Yeah.
And we're on the road to do some really good things. Oh, it was mentioned in the New York Times as your wife just dropped in the comments. Yeah. So if y'all out there, please drop some comments in our area right here. Really helps us
as a
out.
guy from Boston, I really appreciate that. I really appreciated that. Thank you, New York. Thank you, New York Times.
All right. Yeah, man. We are definitely making it happen. But once again, that's you carrying that torch. That's you being a part of Black history, adding to the pages, adding to the script, adding to the chapters. Yeah, you're doing it, sir.
Well, no, it's Carter G. Woodson's. He's the torchbearer, and we learned from his legacy. Speaking of blueprints, how to build an institution. ASALH is over 100 years old.
Okay.
So if anyone has ever, you hear people out there saying, "Oh man, they gave us," just mute that, brother, because that's not really like productive or helping anybody out here right now.
Right.
Okay. Plus, don't forget the leap year. All right. On the leap year, we get that extra day, so it's really not the oldest, the small.
Yeah, and
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding around. But
yeah, I was like, somebody's definitely going to come back on that one. It's like, yeah,
but I get it. I get it. I think we have to make it mean something.
Yeah.
If Black History Month has been something that people said, "Oh my God," then that means something's wrong in that space. That really, I think you do feel that. If we're going to keep it totally honest, as we always do, real talk on real issues. I think some people say, "Oh boy, not this again," because they're going to hear the same stuff, and that can be stressful on African Americans as well, because it's the movement fatigue thing again. I feel it on Martin Luther King Day. There's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of energy, and a lot of people are allies and help, which is beautiful. But you really need a day to reflect, and I think this is a month to reflect, which will inevitably lead and make sure people know that it's the ASALH that sets the theme every year, the Black History Month theme. That's the duty and the honor that the association carries each year to identify the theme. And this year's theme is the Black family. So
respect on that. Yeah, what?
It runs all year.
It's funny how we all started working together, and I didn't realize until you started really being connected with us, sharing your connections with Asala about what you just said right now, and then realized that is the place, that is the site, that is the foundation, that is Dr. Carter G. Woodson's. As I'm looking at one of his books on my shelf right now. Yeah. Miseducation of the Negro.
I was looking for mine. I just that book gets moved around all the time.
Man, yeah, I would love to find an original edition to that, just so I can have
checked
that.
Out of a lot of libraries too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But the fact that a lot of things are being uncovered, a lot more things are being shared. So man, shout out to Asala.
Shout out to Asala. I don't, while we're on the topic, it's also a local connection. The Asala Manhattan branch will be having an event also on Sunday at 4 p.m. And that will also be on the ASALH Asala TV as well. That's going to be featuring some amazing people. Josh Barker from the Amsterdam News. Dr. William Sorrell, emeritus professor, and Brother Lewis, Fairleigh Dickinson, and and some other folks from the Underground Railroad. Anyway, but it's the Harlem branch. Manhattan will be on. That's on Sunday, and
what time?
That's going to be at 4 p.m.
Okay,
Eastern
cool.
Standard Time.
Yeah,
I just want to show. I got Dr. Sorrell's book right here. I don't know if anybody.
Yeah, you guys sometimes it gets a little funky when you
So that's also going to be very exciting.
All right. Yeah, man. So looks like we are. Where are we?
We're at about that time.
About that time, man. So where can people find us? Doc? As far
Okay,
as
that's
like,
a good
you want to
question.
follow us? Yeah.
That's a good question. You can find us on our Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
Rejected Stone Productions. We are going to have an announcement very soon with some support and sponsorship
Yes.
coming from Facebook. Thank you to
Thank
Facebook.
you, Facebook. Really
Thank you,
came through.
Facebook.
Man,
Facebook.
hit them in a
And
big way.
yeah, helped us to with everybody should check out Facebook for Business. Helps with great classes and resources how to do this stuff. A lot
Yeah.
of support because more and more people are looking for ways to get involved. And you can also find us on Instagram under Rejected Stone Productions, and we have that's the best place to find us right now. And most of you know us, so just holler down the street. I'll see you outside. I'll open the window. You can find us.
Yeah.
We're right here. So, but that's
Apple.
the best way.
Apple Podcasts as well.
Yeah, thank you. Can you? Yes,
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. I forgot to mention that.
The same names, Rejected Stone. Was it Podcasts or Productions?
Right. We're on Apple now. We're on Apple Podcasts. You can find us there. And we're also on Pandora. We're on Pandora now. So thank you for your interest. It's great to see hits. It's great to see the download rates, but to know that people actually are interested in the information, that it's not just because they like us and it's not just our friends.
Right.
That there's that folks are finding the information to be helpful and rich, and we have so many other good voices that we can bring in, knowledgeable voices, solid voices that can bring some information that's really of use here in this hour in our time that we spend. So we'll be keeping you posted about that, and you could definitely find us there, and coming soon to Twitter.
Yeah, well, it's like theater near you or Twitter near you. Yeah, for real, right on your hip. Yep.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody. I there's so many things. I also didn't want to forget to just to remind folk again, asalh.org.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the place to be, since this is the Black History Month episode. Wherever you're celebrating Black History Month, whether it be from the folks that we heard from in France, who just had a whole ceremony yesterday, or in the UK, which celebrates it a different month. Canada celebrates it in a different month. It's literally all year, because now it's worldwide. And so here in the States, we celebrate in February, but it's actually literally worldwide when you count the international. So what a good thing. I think the world needs it now more than this. I can't think of a better thing. I'm so glad to be in Black History Month. I wish you all a good Black History Month.
Yeah. So on that note, my brother and everybody out there listening, and the future listeners, we want to thank you all for your contributions, your time, your ear, your understanding, and hopefully, as we start to do more of those, we'll bring on some more guests and more insights that will connect with our opening lines, which really talks about having real talk about real issues in real time. And on that opening and also closing note, we want to make sure that we always wrap up with a word that is Swahili that really talks about moving on and constant movement, but in a collective way. So what we like to say is Twende.
Twende.
Yeah, right. Be safe, everyone. We love you. Thank you. And happy Black History Month and year. Yeah. All right. Stay safe. Peace.